Welcome everybody to today's presentation from Ascari and Boyum. And today we're looking at Boyum Cloud. In particular, I think we're going to look at the Produce module, but I'm sure in my conversation with Rosi today, we'll also touch on the other aspects available in Boyum Cloud. Just so everyone can see, just from who's presenting today, I'm Alan Hughes. I'm the Solutions Director at Ascari. I'm responsible for all commercial elements within the business. I'm joined today, I'm delighted to say, with Rosi over in Atlanta in the States. We've been working for quite some time now, Rosi, on presenting various solutions from Boyum. And you get involved with quite a lot of demonstrations with me as well, don't you?
Yep.
Brilliant. So a little introduction to Boyum, in case people don't know. Boyum themselves are a very well-established partner within the SAP Business One world. So originating out of SAP themselves, they have many thousands of customers, as you can see, installed all over the world, partner with most of the Business One partners all around the world themselves, and have many hundreds of thousands of users. And there's quite a diverse range of products that Boyum deal and supply to partners like Ascari for us to help provide rounded solutions for our customers. So without further ado, I'm going to make you presenter, Rosi, and then we'll go into product and have a discussion around Boyum Cloud generally.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alan. As always, it's always my pleasure to be here with you and your customers. So what we're going to look at it today is a product we have called Produce. So Produce is really, if you do production orders in SAP, that's the easiest I can explain, this is the perfect solution for you. So it's role-based. Our cloud products are role-based, and we have more than one, and I will mention them in a minute. So for example, you have a manager, you have the production manager, right? So the production managers, they manage the production orders. They want to see in one view who is working on what, for examples. They want to be able to be in control. Which one am I going to release? Because as soon as I release a production order, people are able to start working on it. They want to check the material first in a very simple way before they release the production order. So that's what the production manager has with this solution. And they don't even have to go into SAP Business One because it's totally integrated to SAP Business One. And meaning, if Alan puts in a production order in SAP Business One, for example, I can monitor everything as the manager right there on the cloud. And then you have the operator. So the operator is really the one who does the work, not that the manager doesn't work, but they are executing the operations, the routings, they call it in SAP. So they're really executing them, and just register the time, register the material, and you are done. Most important, get away from the paperwork. You don't have to print out production orders because they can see everything on their tablet. If you put instructions in there, usually we scribble instructions on a production order. I used to do, not anymore. Nobody can read what I write anyway, but they have everything right there electronically on a tablet, for example. So I'm going to jump in here, and since Alan mentioned it to you, so we have different products we have built as a product management, really, really nice product. If you do a lot of bill of material, if this is something you do a lot of bill of material, you do engineer to order or constantly put a bill of materials in, please let Alan know. We can set up a session. We also have Inspect product. The Inspect product, that's our quality control product. So we do have also quality control for SAP Business One, where you can automate, for example, every time I receive goods in from this vendor ABC, I want the system automatically to create a quality control order. That way I can check the material. Or if you receive items in their batch batch managed, you receive them into SAP as locked, and you can create automatically a quality control order. And once the quality control order passes, it automatically releases it. So that's our quality control product. But let's talk about Produce today, okay? So the first thing you see when you log on as the manager is a dashboard. The dashboard tells you who is working on what production order. So of course, in your case, most likely you have more than one operator working on the floor. You might have 5, 6 listed here. So you can see who is working on what production order and what resource, what machine they are using, for example. So if I click here, I can actually see a detailed view of this production order. I see the number, I see what customer it is, the finished product. I see the priority. Hey, this is high priority. And I see that the first operation was completed. I'm working on the second operation, and on the third operation was a partial stop. So there was something was done, but not completed. So if I go out here, you also see here how many approved released production orders you have. Here you see how many you've closed out the past 7 days, and were they on time or not on time. Here you see how many production orders you have and how many are in low priority, medium, or high priority. So that's a beautiful dashboard. Like I said, you have totally overview who is working on what, but you can also go here and go to the list view. So the list view lists all your production orders in SAP unless they're closed. So for example, let's go, you see the customer here. If it's customer related, you see the item here, you see the priorities, and you see some have like a frame and some don't. You set up the configuration, and you are the one who say, hey, when do I want to set a production order to medium, a production order to high priority? This is a setting you just decide on as the company, and it calculates it for you. But of course, you can change them manually. So you see the ones with the frame on, I changed them because maybe you called me and I want to get this production order out really quick. Right here, you see how many operations each production order has. So that's very nice too. This has 3 operations. And right here, you see which ones were released, approved. Okay, this one is not approved. That means this one in the system is still planned. Okay, and this one people have worked on. And you see this one says finalize. What this is you can, okay, all 3 were done, and you checked everything, and you can finalize it. What this would do, it will close it out in SAP, and you know that's not reversible. So make sure you do that when you're ready to do that. So this is the manager. That's full visibility. It has a nice list view. It has a dashboard view. So I'm going to unapprove some. Nobody worked on this yet, so I'm going to unapprove those. What this means, the reason I'm doing it, as soon as I unapprove something, if it's not approved, the operators cannot, let me refresh it quick, the operators cannot see that. So I'm the shop floor worker. I'm going to come to work and I only see what has been released. So if I go back to the manager, I will not see 267. You see that? Because I'm the manager and I have full control. I don't want to release it yet. I do not want the operator to start working on it. So if I go right here, and let's say you want to approve it, you want to release it, but before you release it, you want to check if there is actually material available to do that production order. So you can always check one or check a bunch of them, and you can click here, material availability. And you see, it tells me all my raw material is green. That means it's good. It tells me how many I have in stock here. And right here, you could have yellow. That means it's on order, or red, you have a problem. Okay, you need to order some material. But let's pretend that you're fine and you want to release it. And as soon you approve it, I said release because it goes hand in hand with SAP 267, you will see it flowing right in here. And let me just refresh this. I don't know why it's so slow. Usually it's within a second. I can click quick enough. You will see it right here. Now it has been released, and now my workers can start working on it. So now imagine you have a tablet and you come to work and you see I'm working on this one already, the one you saw. Before I started working, you see the instructions. That's what I was talking about. You can put instructions on your production orders and your operators can actually pull it up here. So as soon there is instructions, you will have a button right here. It tells you what resource it needs and what's the raw material. So let's go in here and let me start another one. So this one was a partial stop. And I'm just going to start this one. Look at my instructions. Okay. And I'm going to start this one too. So what this does now, if the manager, and I want you to see it, if I go to my dashboard now, you see I'm working on this production orders on 2 different resources. Of course, it would be a different operator that would have the other operator listed. But you have full visibility. And you also see here, those colors, of course, mean something. I'm working on those 2. Okay. So now let's go back to the operator. So I've been working on this one. Let's do the other one because I've been working on it longer. So I've been working on it. Okay, this is the one I wanted. So I've been working on it and now I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to stop. I just finished. You're going to stop it. Then you can say more work is required because you can do a partial stop. You see right here, I have 7 out of 10. So that means I did a partial stop earlier. So I'm going to say stop and I'm going to say I'm finished the whole thing and I did the last 3. Did I have any scrap? No. I'm going to continue. This was my expected time. This was my calculated time. So I was pretty close. I was faster. And of course, I cannot change the time. If you run SAP, you understand that is because my resource was set to backflash. If it would have been set to manual, you are able to change it. And here, this is the raw material I needed. That's what, and it suggests me the batch, which makes it easy for you because it looks at the date. So you can say, okay, I did use this batch. That's the only one I have, but maybe I needed 7 of that because for whatever reason, or you say, okay, I didn't use those 2 serial numbers. I was able to get away with 4 only. The system tells me, my BOM tells me I need 6. So you adjust your quantity if you need to. And when you're in here, you see right here, resource time is backflash, there's nothing you can do. Then unit created is 3 out of 3. So because I'm completing it, and this will be completed. And it says there's some raw material you needed more than expected and some that you needed less. And that makes it really nice for your employees because they say, oh, you know what, I did have a typo and change it again. But let's see, everything is okay and I'm going to finish. And now it does the booking in SAP like you are used to. You know, it does issue the material and so on. If I go back to the manager and go to my dashboard, you also see that I'm only working on one resource because I just finished this one. And that's really nice for a manager because, I mean, to me, it's full visibility. You don't have that nowhere. You also have a transaction history report. So if you had a problem with any transaction, you can always go in here and it will tell you what the problem was. And I don't know what this is. It tells you what it is. And you like this is easier to understand, quantity falls into negative. That means they couldn't issue the material. And you as the product manager, of course, this is what you look at it every day. If something failed, to post, and you can fix that in the system and then say retry processing, or ignore the error because maybe you did it another way, and then you just retry processing too. But of course, you don't only see the ones that have issues, you can see all of them. So if there's ever a question about a production order, you just do a find here, put in the number, and you are good to go. So it's a transaction history right here. And then you also have the flexibility when you set up your operators, that you can say, okay, when Rosie logs on, I only want her to see those 2 resources, because that's what her stations are. I don't want her to see any other operations, because I'm sure there's more, but I only want her to see those 2 because that's what she does all day long. So you have the flexibility on that also. And of course, you can always, I didn't want to do the changes, of course. Come on, let me just go in here. Of course, you as the manager, you can hide columns, you can hide stuff, you can move stuff around if you rather have this here and that. That's totally up to you how you want to have the screen designed, okay? You can also, as the operator, you can go ahead, just show me everything. Maybe your boss is like, hey, I want you to see everything just in case, only show me all the 300 operations, or just show me whatever. So you can filter here also. Actually, it's very big on filtering the screens. But anyway, this was our produce module. It's really an extension with SAP Business One. If you do production orders in SAP Business One, this is the way to go. It's almost a must. We have some very happy customers already. And as you saw, it's very easy to use. It's very easy to use and very quick to set up. And Alan knows, especially because he has several customers, and this, it's really, it's no headache for you or for Alan. So it's a very cool tool, and it's totally integrated. So if I would close this out now, this would close it out in SAP, of course. So everything you're doing here, the posting, it goes straight into SAP. If Alan puts in a production order in SAP, I can see it here. So it's totally integrated.
Yeah, and what I love about it, Rosie, is it is simple to use. So it doesn't matter whether someone has a simple or a complicated production process.
Yes.
This is just adding to what SAP Business One can do, because this sort of thing just doesn't exist in SAP Business One. So it's going to give accurate costs, which, at best sort of guessed at if you don't have a solution like this. And that's why I love this so.
Yeah, I agree. And you have it all digital. You don't have to do paperwork anymore. And yeah, training curve is simple also for your operators.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to open it up for Q&A, Alan, maybe if the attendees have some questions.
Yeah, well, there is an ability to ask questions via text, or if anyone wants to raise a hand, I can open up them and unmute them. But at this stage, there are no questions, Rosie. So it's more of a case of just making sure it was covered. Produce to me is probably been the most popular module so far that's been produced in Boyum Cloud. Although with the recent release of Inspect, I expect that to explode in all different directions, because you can be in retail, you can be in distribution, you can be in manufacturing. Inspect will have a use. Whereas Produce to me is pretty much aimed at manufacturing, or even just like kitting. It's just going to give you accurate time recording on which jobs of what they've taken. You're going to get real costs. You're going to get better overview and dashboards. You're going to get better reporting. It's just a way of really enhancing your business. Build is also very useful, as we know, for anyone that has to create a variety of bills of material outside of SAP, because plainly and quite cleverly, Boyum have made sure the license costs on a monthly basis are very competitive. And that goes for the whole Boyum Cloud range. So it's something that we at Ascari are very, very confident that we will sell a lot of. And in fact, we've got a few customers using it already. So it's a good place to be. We really like it. And it fits our model as being cloud specialists in the SAP Business One world. So there doesn't appear to be any questions, Rosie. So I think we can wrap up today. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we finish?
No, no, actually not. So if you would like to see build or the quality control piece, please contact Alan. I'll be more than happy to set up another session. Okay?
Brilliant. Thanks again, Rosie. And thanks everyone for attending today. And we look forward to speaking to you all in the future. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.